What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today for another BFR back-to-back Game 2 against the Boston Bruins in Boston. Game was played at 6:30 p.m. on October 11th, and I'm going to be honest, I thought the Hawks had a chance to win this one, especially when Bedard got the first goal. I really thought they could possibly bring this one home, and then it did not go that way. Boston outplayed them pretty much the rest of the game. So the score ends up being 3-1. The Hawks dropped to 1-1. Their shots were 33-21 Boston. Hits were 18-13 Chicago. Faceoffs 34-20 for Boston. Power plays, both teams go 0-3. Soderblom saves 30 out of 32. He played very well. Allmark saves 20 out of 21. Bedard became the third youngest Hawk in history to score, and just in general to score. Grant Mulvey and Eddie Olczyk, the only two ahead of him. Boston was wearing their Centennial thirds for their 100th season in the NHL. They get their Centennial jerseys. They got these black or brownish, definitely dark brown, I think. I'm not sure if it's black or what it was. But black jerseys for home. They have white jerseys for away, and they have a third jersey that's also white. That's what they were wearing, their third white jerseys. Hawks were in red. It was the Centennial celebration, so they had a bunch of people there. Johnny Busick, Bobby Orr, Zdeno Chara, Patrice Bergeron, legends of the game before. It's weird saying Bergeron is a legend of the past, but this is the time we're in. He's retired. Taylor Hall, week to week after a collision with Brandon Carlo, he tried to come back during the game, but that would keep him out. So we'll see. I assume we'll get more information on that as it goes. It looked like a arm or shoulder injury. We'll go to the first period. Seth Jones started off the game with a big hit. Lauko is saved. Hall is saved. 17-10, Chicago penalty to Kaiser for cross-checking, which was a stupid penalty, but it was also a pretty bad call, I thought. It would be killed. Reichel to Radish was saved. Potris is saved. Soderblom was looking good early. Boston was in control early, but at 14:23, Chicago gets its own rebound. It's a wraparound goal for the one and only Connor Bedard, his first goal in the NHL, first of the season from Hall and Donato, which makes it 1-0 early. And wow, I was surprised. But of course, we learned that the Hawks win so far this season have only won when they have not had the first goal, and they've lost when they did have the first goal. So we'll see if this continues. 8:38 then, Boston ties it up. It's a deflection goal from Trent Frederick, first of the season from Carlo and Poultris. I don't know. But he gets his first point of his career. What a save on James Van Riemsdyk at that point, I wrote. Marchand tangles with Bedard. He had some words to share with him. I wrote pretty small here, apparently. Boston was throwing everything at Soderblom, but 5:02, Boston penalty to Lindholm for delay of game, which would be killed. Hall trips, takes out Carlo, and that was really weird. And that might have been why Carlo hit him later on. Bedard was robbed by Allmark. Fantastic save there. Shattenkirk is saved. Korchinski shoots wide. We go to the second. Hall and Carlo collide first minute of the second, and that's when Hall would leave. It looked like an arm or shoulder injury. He went to the locker room. Geeky's denied. It was starting to get scrummy. 16:38, Chicago penalty to Kaiser, second penalty of the game for hooking, which would be killed. 12-12, Chicago penalty to Bedard for tripping, and he literally, I don't know how this is a penalty. He literally went to hit Marchand. He missed the hit, and Marchand just kind of fell, and I don't think it should have been a penalty, but oh well. Hall came back at this point around 9:59 when Boston took a penalty. It was a DeBrusque for tripping, which would be killed. Hall would come back for that power play, and then he left again soon after. There was a close call in the near end, and then at 6:51, Boston snipes a goal. It's David Pastrnak, his first of the season, from Milan Lucic in his first game back with Boston in about 9 years. So that makes it 2-1. In the third, at 19:48, it's a Boston penalty to Lucic for holding the stick, and I will say that was an awful call. There were already two questionable calls, but this one was actually an awful call by the officials. Lucic was not holding onto the stick. I don't care what they said on that play. That would be killed off, however. There was a dirty hit on Gutman that led to, at 16:48, so many penalties. It's a Boston penalty to Beecher for boarding and a Chicago penalty to Dickinson for instigating. Boston penalty to Beecher for fighting. Dickinson gets a fighting, and then Dickinson also got the 10-minute misconduct. Why Dickinson got the 10-minute misconduct, I'd like to know. Because Beecher, it was a dirty hit on Gutman. Dickinson comes in and supports his teammate, yet he gets the extra penalties. That doesn't make sense to me. That really does not make sense to me, how that could be the extra penalty. After all that, no, it stays 5-on-5. And the crazy part was there was no initial call on the boarding penalty. They were originally just going to play on and say, screw it. After the Dickinson got the instigator, that's when they gave Beecher the boarding call. DeBrusque got a big hit on Kaiser. Lucic is denied. Soderblom was standing on his head. Pasta is stopped. 4:58, Bedard on a break gets tripped as he shoots, and he was down on the ice. He went crashing into the boards. He went down into the, he looked like he was in pain for about 30 seconds, and I can hear all of Chicago just going, like, as soon as that happened, like, please no, 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 no. Luckily, he continued on. He got back up, and there's been no report of injury. Soderblom's pulled at 1:45, and at 56 seconds, it's a Boston empty net goal. Pastrnak gets his second of the game, so David Pastrnak with 2 on the season already from Marchand and McAvoy to make it 3-1. That would conclude Game 2. Game 3 will be in Montreal on Saturday against the Montreal Canadiens, of course, and we'll see how that one goes. They have a chance to go 2-1 right now. They've already got the split with Pittsburgh and Boston. You can't expect to win all of them, especially on a back-to-back, and getting one of those there was important. Starting the season off on the right foot, and we'll see if they can continue it from here. That's all I have for you guys for this one. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if I sound a little weird. I got my retainer in right now. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.